In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to convert a 16.9 sequence into a 9:16 vertical format in Adobe Premiere Pro. Perfect for optimizing your videos for popular platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Let's dive in and get started on transforming your horizontal footage into something ready to captivate audiences on these vertical video platforms. First off, if you already have a sequence edited in the 16.9 format, you'll want to head over to your project panel. Simply right-click on the sequence and select Duplicate. However, if you're starting from scratch, you'll need to create a new sequence. Navigate to File, click on New, and then choose Sequence. With your sequence ready, the next step is to change the settings to a vertical format. Select your sequence and go to Sequence in the menu bar, and then Sequence Settings. Here's where you'll swap the width and height values under video frame size to achieve the vertical look. For instance, if your original dimensions are 1920 by 1080, you'll switch these to 1080 by 1920. Make sure that the pixel aspect ratio remains at square pixels, which is 1.0. Once that's all set, click OK to apply these changes. Once your sequence is formatted vertically, it's time to adjust your clips to fit this new frame. Select each clip in your timeline and navigate to the Effect Controls panel. This is where you have the flexibility to use the scale and position settings to adjust how your horizontal footage will appear vertically. You can choose to zoom in or crop the content depending on what parts of the video you want to highlight. Alternatively, you might prefer to leave the black bars at the top and bottom if that suits your content better. For a more dynamic repositioning, consider manual keyframing, or take advantage of tools like Auto Reframe if you have access to it. Once your adjustments are in place, it's vital to preview your edited timeline. Play through your video to ensure everything is framing correctly in the vertical space. Pay close attention to any text, graphics, or key action points that you don't want cropped out. You might need to make further tweaks to titles, graphics, or overlays to ensure they're centered and prominently displayed in the new vertical format. Finally, when everything looks great, it's time to export your video with the correct vertical settings. Go to File, then Export, and select Media. You must verify that the width and height settings match your vertical format dimensions, for example 1080 by 1920. When you choose your codec or preset, H.264 is a reliable choice for social media platforms. Hit Export, and you're all set. Remember, if you mistakenly leave the export settings at a horizontal resolution, your final video will revert back to the 16.9 format, even if your sequence is set to vertical. So pay attention to those export settings to ensure everything matches your intended format. With these steps, your footage is now ready to engage audiences as an expertly converted vertical video.